Begin with the basic posture. Loading the head back. You feel the crown lift. Connecting that. Feel the upper back. Spreading. Perhaps the uppermost part of the back even feels slightly lifted along with the crown. Move the shoulders, shoulder blades sink down into the back. And as you feel the back rounding, it's as if it encloses the deep chest. Same time, I'm softening the knees, bringing a little forward from the hips. And lower back, stretch out. The tailbone drop into the body. Spread the hands and feet. Also lightly cup them. Center of the palm, the sole of the foot. So we're grabbing the floor very lightly. Relax the face and jaw. Tip of the tongue comfortably at the roof of the mouth. Feel how that very slightly opens and relaxes the back of the throat. As we relax the hips down, feel the tailbone dropping under the body. And the tip of the tailbone, think of it slightly lifted. Very gentle activation of the pelvic floor. Perhaps a little bit of activation, the inner legs, inner thighs as well. All in all, it feels like the back of the body is open, spine's extended, the back wrapping around the front and closing the deeper space. We'll rock the weight gently forward and back, maintaining that posture without any stiffness. And the feet spread, push forward, toes and the whole foot lightly grabbing the floor as we sit back. 70% of the weight. Again, if we maintain the posture without any stiffness, we feel gentle movement in all the joints, everywhere throughout the body. And side to side. Circle. Pause and reverse. Then looking up, and keep the chin a little back. Keep the crown lifted. Lightly open the whole front of the body. Opening, spreading the chest lightly, spreading the palms. And down, we open the back. And that sense of the back spreads and closes the deep chest, the hands enclosing the center of the palms. I'm feeling something like that in the feet as well. The weight stays relatively even in the feet. You still feel that spreading and closing. Some side bending. And up and away. Dropping the weight down, sinking the tailbone. Hips and shoulders sink. Tailbone drops under the body. When we're doing the walking, these small points of the posture make quite a bit of difference to the overall feeling and the effect. Turning the hip. Working down through the neck. Feel how the gentle twist of the neck starts to reach down in the upper part of the chest and back. And feel some of that rotation right under the collarbones, right across the top of the shoulder blades. Down through the mid chest. Down through the lower ribs, the waist. Across the top of the hips. A rotation down to the ankles. We feel every part of the spine moving. That down into the hip bones, hip joints, ankles, and feet. As evenly as we can find that. Turn out. Lift the toes, lift the heel. Go in and toe out. Go in and out. Circle. Reverse. Turn sides. In and toe out. Soul in and soul out. circle. Reverse. Bend the knees just a little bit more. Sit down into the hips. Raise the heels. Yep. As we lift the heels and look up slightly, we feel a very subtle stretch down in front of the body. Keep the shoulder blades sinking down. Skip the hips. Feel a gentle fullness in the low back. Don't struggle to keep your balance. Try to avoid any stiffness or tightening down. So if you start to lose your balance, just put your heels back down. It's not worth fighting for it. You want to find your balance through loosening and relaxing the hips in particular. Let's draw the shoulders forward and back. Or we can release the shoulders. Or we'll feel the weight sinking down and the walking will feel much more stable and secure. Draw one shoulder down, let the other rise. Circle. Reverse. Tuck and untuck the tailbone. Tuck the hips under. And stick the backside out of the set. Drop one hip toward the floor, the other rise. Knee bend a little bit. Drop the hip down. You feel that exchange. The waist level, one side stretching open, the other side shortened. Circle. And reverse. Thinking of the weight sinking through one leg, let the other rise up. Releasing down from the top. Sinking the shoulders, sinking the hips. Finding that sense that we're dropping our weight right through the floor. And that provides push up, kind of lift and support. And we connect that to the leg. Let's rise. And we can do this as a walk. So approximately heel up to the knee. as long as that's comfortable. Weight forward. As I shift the weight forward, I keep the back heel down at first, try to drop the tailbone under as always. Keeping that same posture. Feel a little stretch in that back leg. Or sinking the weight through the front leg and letting the back foot come up. Not the emphasis on pulling up these muscles, but of releasing down, finding a natural contact. Out. Keeping the breath as relaxed, deep, and slow as possible. And that slight forward tilt of the hips, but without feeling like I'm actually falling forward. This is a tricky point. We would a little bit of hip flexion makes few people feel like they're leaning forward. But I want to feel as if my weight is sinking straight down through the leg and not pulling me forward. Do a little more to open up the hips, a wider step, sway the hips forward and back. And keeping the tailbone dropped under, keeping the lower back stable. Side to side. Circle. Pause and reverse. Shift. And that sense of releasing the weight down through that leg. And that keeps it a little bit round, keeps that foot planted, keeps the little toe down. And turn side to side. Opening up the hip on one side, holding in on the other, feeling that kind of exchange. Weight shift back in. Get most of my attention to the back leg. Relaxing that hip, keeping the foot planted. And reverse. I've done a little bit of this figure eight pattern where I shift my weight first and then turn. And as I sit back, if I feel the hands settling just slightly, and as I turn, I may not even notice how they actually move away from me a little bit. So they're ready to just settle slightly for the next sitting back move. The hands are low, but it's still easy to let the shoulders pull forward and even a little up. So I think if the shoulder blade is the counterbalance to the hand, shoulder blade sinking down into the back, even a little bit towards the middle of the back. Very light. And then push forward. Turn back and push forward. Keep the weight centered on that leg. So I turn, then push into the front one. Feel at the end of that push. It pushes the hands just an inch or so away. I'm not letting the hands come up very high. The elbows are dropped, shoulders are down. Movement of the hands and arms very slight, very subtle. On the other hand, they're not rigid. Finally, toe in. Now I'm folding both hips in at the same time and then out. Both hips are opening up. Get two hinges. The arms swing, but I have to be careful when the arms are swinging that it doesn't twist me at the waist or more significantly throw that hip out. This leg like a post, the knee right over the toes, pointing the same way as the toes, the hip right over the heel, avoiding any twist. The more I can drop my tailbone under, right, even keep head back and crown up, the more stable that leg is intended to be. And it's just patting the hips, helping relax that area a little more. So we use that opening movement in the walking, even with the commencement. Both hips open, sink the weight through one leg and step out. Both hips open, toe in. Go to the other side, in, toe in. Shoulders sinking as the hands come up, drop the elbows. Sink the weight down through the arms. Feel the hands a little heavy. The moment I'll just put my hands back on the hips. Again, open the two hips together, shift the weight, stretch out that back leg a little bit. The difference today is I'm going to let that back foot come all the way up. And then as I turn back to the front, opening that back hip, I'll step out. Bring my hips around to the front. Square up a little bit. Sit back. Both hips open out. Stretch. Shift forward. Stretch out that back hip. Drop the tailbone under. And then sink the weight through that standing leg to lift the other one. So I'll do that from the side where my feet will stay visible. Camera. What is it that lifts that back leg? It's sinking through standing leg. Forward, stretch it out. Keep that back foot planted for just a moment. I'm really trying that moment out. And you'll see that I stay the same height. This exercise really depends on not standing up at this point. But if anything, feeling like I'm sinking down into that standing leg. Up through the back, toeing in. Sink down to raise that leg. Not really bending that knee any deeper to lift the other leg, but it sort of feels like I am. Feels like I'm sitting down into my hip and knee a little bit. From the outside, I'm keeping essentially the same height. We exaggerate it a little bit, try to make something visible on the screen. So when I come up here, what's the right angle? Just like in the normal sort of intermediate footing, I toe out and I step up here. The distance between the 2 feet, say, is 5 fingers, right? This fist. So here it's between the ball of the foot on that light foot and the arch. So when I sit down, right, I sort of emphasize that a little bit to raise the leg. It's essentially the same distance, but now it's between the heel and the inside knee. Figure out what angle makes that obvious. So if I'm here, right, you can see my heel is approximately in line with my knee. And it's about that same 5 fingers. We don't have to obsess about that, but it's just to have a clear picture. If I take all the high stepping out, 5 fingers there. Same measurement between feet each time. Uh, and then the width between the feet in the final bow stance is close to the width of our initial step out. So if I start with heels together, when I step out from my commencement, my heels are approximately my hips width apart. Here, they're probably slightly wider, maybe a little closer to the shoulders. It's fine. You'll see as I step back out, I'm back at that hip width spacing side to side between my heels. Just say if I pull that foot straight back, here I am hips width apart. So that's always the target for that final stance. And if I'm doing the high stepping, that's still my target. Which means foot's coming down, it's coming back and out into that front stance. It makes it a little different from a typical lunge position where one foot is essentially in front of the other. Here, obviously, I have a forward foot and back foot, but they maintain spacing side to side. Part of that, as we were talking about last week, is aided by when I first step, I'm already looking a little to the front. Makes it a little easier to find that spacing than if, say, I'm just looking out to the side here, the same way my feet are pointed, and I don't look forward until I'm trying to step. That's a little late. when the feet are in this parallel position, either with one foot on the ground or that one foot up, looking a little forward. It helps prepare the body for that step. It may also, in this position with a raised leg, make me feel a little more stable. Right? Sort of imparts a very subtle twist to the spine. Raising the leg would have a tendency to turn me more out to the side. So this is a kind of counterbalance, whereas the leg comes up, I'm looking a little to the front, right? That subtle twist creates, right, not stiff tension, but a little stability. I can come here, right? It's a little wobbly, even with my foot on the floor. I look a little forward, somehow helps that back hip settle down, helps sink the weight, makes everything more stable and prepares me better for the next step. Turn around, do one more line of stepping. Close out. Shake. And then with a very light fist, barely closed, just going to pat the whole hip area, percuss it lightly down into the thighs. Press the lower back a little bit. Very lightly bounce. Shake the body loose. The knees soft.